What if everything you thought you knew about the Golden Girls was built on secrets? Rue McClanahan reveals a shocking truth about the Golden Girls that will change how you see it forever. From unexpected casting decisions to hidden backstage drama, her revelations shed new light on the beloved series. Get ready as we examine the real story behind the Golden Girls.
Big Daddy, let me look at you.
Oh, let me look at you. Oh, you're still as pretty as a ladybug, sunning itself on a lily pad on a misty spring day south of Savannah.
I do love the rain so. It reminds me of my first kiss.
Your first kiss was in the rain.
No, it was in a shower.
A former member of the NBC television family has died. Rue McClanahan was 76.
Rue McClanahan was America's golden sweetheart.
Rue was smart, funny, lovable, endearing, and very quick-witted.
When Rue McClanahan first heard about the Golden Girls, she never expected to be cast as the seductive and sassy Blanche Devereaux. Initially, the show's creators had different plans. Rue was offered the role of Rose Nylund, the sweet, naive character who seemed far removed from the fiery Blanche. But Rue had her eyes set on Blanche from the start. She felt an instant connection to the bold, vivacious personality, believing she could bring something unique to the role. However, the producers were keen on casting Betty White as Blanche, drawing from her similar role as Sue Ann Nivens in The Mary Tyler Moore Show. They saw her as the natural fit for the flirty Southern belle. But Rue wasn't one to back down. She pushed back, insisting she could make Blanche come alive in a way no one else could. This insistence led to tension among the cast and producers, who were now caught in a dilemma. Should they stick with their original plan, or take a risk with Rue? Rue's passion for the role of Blanche was undeniable, but it was met with skepticism. To complicate matters, the show's casting team wanted Betty White for Rose. The decision seemed set in stone, but fate had other plans. During a critical audition, the casting director asked Rue to read for Blanche, even though she had prepared for Rose. Rue seized the opportunity, giving a performance that left everyone in the room stunned. Even Betty White, who had walked in ready to read for Blanche, switched to Rose at the last minute. The room fell silent as Rue finished her audition. Her portrayal was so convincing that it felt like Blanche Devereaux had just walked in. The producers were taken aback. They had a choice to make, and they chose to gamble on Rue. This decision would shape the entire dynamic of the Golden Girls and bring new energy to the show. But this was just the beginning of the unexpected turns. While the chemistry on screen was undeniable, the behind-the-scenes dynamics of the Golden Girls were just as fascinating. The show brought together 4 talented actresses with distinct personalities, and that mix sometimes led to unexpected tensions. Rue McClanahan and Betty White, for example, quickly bonded over their love of animals and shared a light-hearted sense of humor. Their on-screen friendship mirrored their real-life camaraderie, which often helped lighten the mood during long days of filming. Yet, not everything was smooth sailing. There were moments of friction between Bea Arthur and Betty White. Bea, known for her serious and sometimes reserved nature, often found Betty's upbeat personality a bit too much to handle. Rue, always the diplomat, found herself caught in the middle of these subtle tensions. These differences were balanced by mutual respect among the cast, as they all understood that their strengths created a unique dynamic that brought the show to life. One of the most hidden stories from the set involved Estelle Getty, who played the sharp-tongued Sophia. Estelle was dealing with severe stage fright, a struggle that wasn't known to most fans. Even with her brilliant performance, she would often freeze during rehearsals, causing delays and frustration. But Rue, always compassionate, took it upon herself to support Estelle, helping her through these moments. She would often sit with her, cracking jokes or running lines until Estelle felt comfortable. Outsiders rarely saw this secret camaraderie between Rue and Estelle. There were also unexpected alliances. Betty White and Estelle Getty formed a close bond, often seen whispering and giggling between takes. Betty, known for her quick wit, often played harmless pranks on the set, usually with Estelle as her accomplice. These moments added levity to the otherwise intense filming schedule and helped solidify the cast's unique chemistry. Behind the scenes, Rue was known for her mischievous nature. She loved playing harmless tricks on her co-stars, once even sneaking fake spiders into B. Arthur's dressing room to get a laugh. This playful spirit often lifted the mood, turning stressful situations into memorable experiences. But not all moments were fun and games. The pressure to maintain high ratings and constantly deliver top-notch performances took a toll on everyone. And then came a twist that no one saw coming. B. Arthur was not immediately thrilled about joining the Golden Girls. After years of success playing the strong-willed Maud, B. was hesitant to take on another TV role. She was concerned about being typecast and was looking for something different, something that wouldn't just make her Maud again in the eyes of viewers. This reluctance almost cost the show one of its most iconic characters, Dorothy Zbornak. When Rue McClanahan heard about B's hesitation, she took it upon herself to change B's mind. Rue and B had worked together on Maud, and Rue knew that B would bring a unique strength to Dorothy's character. Rue reached out to B with a call that was more of a heartfelt plea than a pitch. "Why are you turning down the best script that's ever going to come across your desk?" Rue asked. She explained that the show was different, and that each character had depth and uniqueness that would shine through. Rue's words made B pause and think. She trusted Rue's judgment and knew that Rue wouldn't steer her wrong. However, B's concerns were deeper than just career moves. She was also dealing with personal challenges, including the recent loss of her mother, which had left her in a vulnerable place emotionally. The idea of stepping into another major role felt overwhelming at that time. But Rue didn't give up. She kept encouraging B, reminding her of the chemistry they had on set and how much fun they could have together again. Rue reassured B that this show was something special, different from anything they had done before. Slowly, B started to reconsider. She agreed to meet with the producers and listen to what they had to say. After a few meetings and more nudging from Rue, B finally said yes. The rest, as they say, is history. Their off-screen friendship became one of the strongest on set. One particular day, B was feeling down and distracted by her troubles. Rue noticed and, in her typical warm manner, brought B her favorite cup of coffee, sat down next to her, and simply talked. Rue knew that sometimes it wasn't about saying the right things, but just being there. That day, their bond deepened, proving that they weren't just colleagues. They were friends who supported each other through thick and thin, but there was more behind their partnership. Rue McClanahan loved playing Blanche Devereaux, but she quickly realized there was a challenge. The writers often wanted to stick with the Southern belle stereotype, portraying Blanche as just a flirtatious woman with a heavy accent. Rue felt her character deserved more. She wanted Blanche to be more than a one-dimensional persona who was obsessed with men and appearances. Rue believed Blanche had depth, wit, and layers that could offer more to the story. From the beginning, Rue pushed against the limitations set by the show's creators. She argued for scripts that showed Blanche as a complex woman, someone who was not only confident and sensual, but also caring, vulnerable, and wise. Rue often found herself in creative battles with the writers, who were initially resistant to changing their approach. They wanted to keep Blanche as the comedic, over-the-top character that viewers would easily laugh at. But Rue didn't back down. She used her charm and wit, much like Blanche herself, to persuade the team. She argued that Blanche's character could explore deeper themes like aging, loneliness, and self-discovery. Her persistence started to pay off. The writers began to see what Rue was aiming for, a character who could make audiences laugh, but also make them think and feel. One of the most significant moments of tension occurs when Rue pushes for an episode where Blanche deals with losing her beloved husband, George. Initially, the idea was met with resistance. The writers feared that it might be too serious for the show's comedic tone. But Rue believed it was important for audiences to see Blanche's vulnerable side, to see her as a woman who had loved deeply and lost profoundly. Rue's advocacy worked. The episode aired, and it was a hit. It gave a new dimension to Blanche's character, showing her strength in a way that viewers hadn't seen before. This success marked a turning point for the show, proving that the Golden Girls could balance humor with more meaningful storytelling. What she did next changed the course of the show. Estelle Getty became an unexpected star through her portrayal of Sophia Petrillo, the sharp-tongued and witty matriarch of the Golden Girls. Rue McClanahan often spoke about how amazed she was by Estelle's sudden rise to fame. Despite being the least experienced in television among the cast, Estelle stole the show with her impeccable comedic timing and unique style. Rue admired Estelle's ability to make the audience laugh with just a look or a one-liner, turning Sophia into a beloved character almost overnight. However, behind the scenes, Estelle faced significant health challenges that were kept away from the public eye. Estelle was battling the early stages of Parkinson's disease, which caused her to struggle with memorizing lines. This condition made rehearsals stressful for her, often leading to frustration and anxiety. Rues saw this struggle firsthand and was one of the first to step in and help. She knew that Estelle was not just a co-star, but a friend who needed support. Rue made it a point to assist Estelle whenever she could. She often volunteered to run lines with her, even after long hours on set. Rue's patience and kindness helped Estelle feel more comfortable and confident, knowing she had someone in her corner. Rue also advocated for more flexible rehearsal schedules to accommodate Estelle's needs, ensuring she had the time and space to perform at her best without feeling rushed or overwhelmed. The show's demanding schedule was tough on everyone, but it was especially challenging for Estelle. The long hours and quick turnarounds required intense focus and stamina, which were hard for Estelle given her condition. Rue, always attentive to the needs of her fellow cast members, found ways to make things a bit easier. She would often encourage breaks, share jokes to lighten the mood, and offer words of encouragement when Estelle felt overwhelmed. But Estelle wasn't the only one facing battles. Rue McClanahan was not just a performer, she had a vision for the Golden Girls that sometimes clashed with what the showrunners wanted. While they aimed to maintain a lighter, humorous tone, Rue pushed for more character-driven episodes that allowed for deeper emotional exploration. She believed that the audience would appreciate storylines that showed the complexities of the characters, not just their funny moments. These creative differences often led to conflicts. Rue was not afraid to speak up when she felt that a script didn't do justice to her character or the show as a whole. She argued that certain episodes were too predictable or played too heavily on stereotypes. Rue's frustrations grew when she felt that Blanche's character was being reduced to just her flirtatious side without any real development. She wanted Blanche to have more meaningful moments, revealing her layers beyond just the laughs. One particular episode where Rue's input made a big difference was the one titled Blind Ambitions. Originally, the script had a more straightforward, comedic plot. Rue felt that this was a missed opportunity to explore something deeper. She suggested that the episode should focus more on Blanche's fear of aging and losing her charm, a topic that many viewers could relate to but had not been addressed on the show before. After much debate and back and forth with the writers, Rue's idea was finally accepted. The rewritten episode portrayed Blanche in a different light, showing her vulnerability and fears. It was a big success, resonating with audiences and critics alike. The response confirmed Rue's belief that the show could handle serious topics without losing its humor. This episode became a turning point in how Blanche was portrayed, proving that the show could balance both comedy and genuine emotion. Rue's determination to push for these kinds of stories wasn't always welcomed by the showrunners. They worried that straying too far from the established formula might risk the show's popularity. But Rue stood her ground, confident that the audience would embrace a richer, more nuanced portrayal of the characters. Her insistence on character-driven storytelling became a signature element of The Golden Girls, allowing the show to tackle themes that were both thought-provoking and entertaining. And then, a game-changing decision was made. While Rue McClanahan charmed millions on screen, her personal life was far from perfect. During the filming of The Golden Girls, Rue faced several challenges that weighed heavily on her. She struggled with health issues, including a breast cancer scare that brought her life into sharp focus. At the same time, she navigated a series of difficult relationships, including a troubled marriage that ended in divorce. These experiences often left her feeling vulnerable, but they also deepened her connection with the character of Blanche. Rue's battles often mirrored the struggles of her on-screen persona. Like Blanche, she was dealing with the reality of aging, the pain of loss, and the quest for love and acceptance. These experiences allowed Rue to bring raw honesty to her performance. Her ability to channel her emotions made her portrayal of Blanche more authentic and relatable. Audiences sensed that Blanche was more than a stereotype. She was a woman with real feelings and real struggles. Through all the challenges, Rue never let her personal pain interfere with her work. She believed in facing life head-on, a trait she shared with Blanche. In one interview, she reflected on how she coped with these struggles. "You can either let the tough times break you, or you can find strength in them. I chose the latter." Rue's strength was evident in every episode, where she continued to deliver outstanding performances that left fans laughing and sometimes crying. Rue's battles also led to some of her most touching moments on screen. She poured her heartbreak and fears into Blanche's character, creating scenes that resonated with many. Her openness about her struggles helped viewers connect with her in a way that went beyond the usual celebrity admiration. Rue's vulnerability made her seem more human, more real. But there was still one more secret she had to reveal. Near the end of her life, Rue McClanahan shared a shocking truth about the Golden Girls that caught many by surprise. In a heartfelt interview, she revealed that, although the show was a success and brought joy to millions, there were moments when she felt unappreciated and even overlooked by those behind the scenes. She spoke openly about the challenges of working in an industry that often fails to recognize the contributions of its seasoned performers, especially women. Rue admitted that, at times, the cast felt like they were battling for fair treatment and acknowledgement. Rue's revelation cast a new light on the beloved series. For many fans, the Golden Girls represented not just humor, but a celebration of strong, independent women who stood by each other through thick and thin. Hearing Rue talk about the struggles behind the scenes made people realize that even in a show that portrayed such empowerment, the reality was more complex. It highlighted the disparity that often exists between the image presented to the public and the challenges that lie beneath. This candid admission resonated deeply with fans and viewers who saw Rue's words as a reminder of the broader issues within the entertainment industry. Many praised Rue for her honesty and bravery in speaking up, even so late in her life. Her words also sparked conversations about the treatment of female actors in Hollywood, especially those of a certain age. Rue's revelation showed that progress was still needed, even in places that seemed forward-thinking. But beyond the criticism, Rue's words also served to deepen the appreciation for the show. Fans began to see the series in a new light, recognizing the incredible dedication of its cast. Rue's insight underscored the fact that these actresses were not just playing their roles. They were fighting for their place in a competitive industry. This new perspective made The Golden Girls even more meaningful, adding a layer of depth to the show's legacy. Rue McClanahan's final words about The Golden Girls left a lasting impact, not only on her fans, but on the industry as a whole. She reminded everyone that behind every great performance is a human being with real struggles and real stories. Her courage in speaking out has inspired many to continue the fight for fairness and recognition in the arts. Rue McClanahan's revelations shed new light on the making of The Golden Girls, revealing both the struggles and triumphs behind the scenes. From casting twists to personal battles, her stories have forever changed how we view this iconic show. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Rue's surprising truths, please like, share, and subscribe for more. What are your thoughts on Rue's untold stories? Let us know in the comments below.